You're the guy.
I mean, this is
Thank you so much for being here. I know. I'm like, we made it. What? This is crazy. You're listening to Everybody Loves Naples, an unfiltered and educational podcast about living in Southwest Florida. We're your hosts. My name is Natalie Perez-Benatoa.
My name is Lance Martinicchio. From the best restaurants and things to do to our local real estate market, we're sitting down with local business owners and community leaders to provide a deeper understanding of what makes Naples, Naples.
Now let's get the show on the road.
All right. Well, welcome back to Everybody Loves Naples. Today is a very special day. I feel like we have royalty in the house.
Yes, definitely. We can retire after this.
We'll probably cancel the show after because we can't get any more better than this.
It's true.
So I'd like to welcome Tim Aten to our program today. And welcome, Tim.
Well, thanks, Lance.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. I think everyone in Naples and Southwest Florida is familiar with you and your column and your social media presence. Tim's in the Know, which is probably shared more than any other person, I believe, locally. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like any of our following has probably come, like you definitely have our audience, which it's so nice to meet you in person and chat a little bit.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I've enjoyed your content. You're kind of irreverent sometimes.
Oh, that's, yeah.
You can tell you still love Naples, though, but you do it in a great way,
Oh,
a little
thank
bit
you
of
so
comedy.
much.
So.
Yes, thanks. It keeps it fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, you actually probably make a lot of people, realtors, and their jobs easy because they're sending your stuff to people out of town
right.
that need to know what's going on down here.
Yeah, I am followed by a lot of realtors.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Our whole world, basically.
Yeah.
So you're an editor. You're the chief editor, the senior editor, I should say, for, we have it right here, the Naples Press. And now Gulf Shore Business.
Yeah, Gulf Shore Business. I was a senior editor and
great
for
magazine.
That first. Yeah, it is a good magazine. It comes out every month and mailed to your home, and it's free to subscribe too. By the way, just go to gulfshorebusiness.com. And so then we spun off. We started the Naples Press 2 years ago, pretty much because we saw a void in the market where there was less, the local paper, the daily paper had less local news and was doing filling it with a lot of USA Today and Fort Myers news. And we thought, well, there's enough Naples news to cover this. And plus they were very left-leaning in a conservative market. So we thought
you're like, that's not going to work.
Right. So there's a hole here. So
sure.
And that's what we try to do. And we
so
have
this is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but this has only been around for 2 years, this one, the Naples Press?
Yeah, the Naples Press.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and it's a weekly that you can get mailed to your home, so delivered via mail. And also it's at every Collier public store and every 7-Eleven, just in Collier County.
That's incredible. I love the so hyper local stuff. I mean, clearly, because it's in our business, it's important, right? But
yes.
I think for the people living here, the people coming here, considering Naples to make their home, or those like the three of us in this room, been here so long, we want to make sure the integrity stays in our community. And to have a resource like this, I mean, I don't even know. Can someone have this just sent every Sunday, like they did Naples Daily News at one time? Like,
well,
is this going to replace?
It comes out every Friday, so
Yep.
you get it in the mail, and you would get it usually on Friday. Sometimes some people get it Thursday, some people might get it Saturday, but usually you would get it on a Friday. And no, it's great because we have people involved like Harriet Heighthouse, who is really one of the preeminent arts and entertainment reporters. She worked for the Naples Daily News for 20 years, and we have her on board, and she does a great job covering, especially when you have all this new Gulf Shore Playhouse and the new Naples Players Theater. She's on top of that stuff. She does a good job.
So tell us a little bit about, I guess, your background and how you started and how you got to Naples. I mean, where are you from exactly and how everything all came about?
All right, sure. Well, I went to school in Northeast Ohio. I went to Kent State University graduate, and I was in telecommunications. So I was in TV and radio. My first jobs were in radio.
Okay.
I was a disc jockey, and I sold like cable television door to door when when basic cable was $7.95 to really date myself.
Right.
And it was just these newfangled things like HBO and Showtime were available. But I did that for a short time, and then I became a disc jockey, and then through that I did I was the news announcer for radio in my hometown, and there was an opening at the newspaper for the county reporter there, and it was a small paper, and so I did that, and my first story was bannered across the front of the page, and it was, front page, and it was just a great start to a career that I've been doing for almost 40 years. So for newspapers, but I came to Florida in '92.
Oh, wow.
Great year.
Yeah,
That's
my
the year
first.
I was born.
I graduated high school
Really?
that year.
Okay.
Great year, Tim.
It was good, but
Big year for everyone.
But my first hurricane was Hurricane Andrew
Yep.
that year.
I was
that
born like a
August,
month
so-
before, and
Yeah, that was my first foray with first very big learning curve on hurricanes.
So what part of Florida did you go to in 92?
I was actually the managing editor of the Key West Citizen.
Okay.
So which was great. So I got to live in the Keys for like 6 years. So it
You
was
can't beat that.
No, especially moving from Northeast Ohio to the
Forget
Keys
it.
in February of no less. So.
right. Bought
Yeah.
your first pair of flip flops, and you're like,
Yeah,
I can
it was
do this.
great. It was good. So, and there was a lot of great news to cover down there. So I did that for 6 years. Then I ended up coming to the Naples Daily News in '98. So February of '98, I transferred here, and I was the news editor, which sounds fancier than it is. Basically, I edited the Wire, the one who chose Wire photos and copy, and also was in charge of the copy desk. So my first 9 years was all behind the scenes. So the only thing I would have written was, probably things like a caption for a photo and headlines.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I didn't write stories then for that paper. I mean, I did earlier in my career, so I was how I started. But
Right.
and then I took over this In the Know column, which actually I was the third In the Know columnist, which people don't realize. It started in
No one else was before you, Tim.
yeah,
No
well.
one else.
You're the only one that's stuck.
Yeah,
Let's
there
be
were
honest.
there were two people that each did it for 2 years, but then I took it over as supposedly temporarily when I was the editor of the copy desk, and so
And then you crushed it, and they're like, we need you
Well,
forever.
yeah, it just became the tail that wagged the dog, basically.
Yeah.
So and so I've been doing it now for more than 18 years, so, and it's morphed a little bit. When I left the Naples Daily News in 2019. The column was picked up by Florida Weekly, and they said, well, what are we going to name it? And I said, well, let's just rename it Tim Aten Knows, because nobody can take that away.
That's right.
So, so that's what it became since then. So, and then Gulf Shore Business ended up picking it up, and it's in the Naples Press now. So, but,
So incredible.
So, I mean, the amount of information that you're able to get before it becomes public is, what do you got on these people? How are you getting this information?
I can't give you the secret, or else.
Well, yeah, if I reveal it, the magic might disappear. If I hate to really stop to really break it down exactly, but it's a culmination of so many things.
Right.
And the longevity does help. It kind of hurts and helps. I can't be a fly on the wall anymore. I get recognized. So I can't just
It's the mustache, isn't it?
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the
It is,
mustache.
yeah.
It's a pretty impressive
It is.
mustache you got there.
People recognize me now.
I think he's competing
There's always
with
that one
Mike-
person
Mike
in every
Bone.
store. There's that one person you can tell. They make eye contact and they'll smile or wave or something, or they'll come up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, you're a real person." But but anyway, so
you're
it's
pretty
been-
tied in, well connected with who you need to
well,
be
and
with.
it helps that the column started as a Q&A, so it already always had that one on, that back and
Collaboration,
forth, yeah,
kinda,
and so
yeah.
people will ask me things, and like for instance, to find out when a restaurant closes is one of the most difficult things, because when they open, they're going to contact you. But when it's closing, they're going to slip away in the night. And so a lot of times it'll be a reader asking, why did this restaurant close?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first inclination I even knew it closed sometimes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I get information from the
readers.
questions.
Yeah.
So it works out well.
That's fascinating. I have to ask, do you do your own social media? Or
I
do you
do.
hire?
I do my own social media. Yeah, and I started when I left the Naples Daily News. I only had like 5,000 followers on my In the Know or the Facebook page, and then in early 2025, I will turn over to be 45,000. So
Wow.
in
Wow.
5 and a half
Congratulations.
years.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I don't buy. I only want local people.
That's
The only
right.
people I invite are local people because I want that engagement
That's
with
right.
them. I don't want. I mean, I do get a lot of people who do move away and they want to keep in touch
Sure.
with here.
Yep.
As a
which
resource.
and that's fine because
Sure.
those people also are bringing a historical perspective, which I love.
Yeah.
I love the local history. And so I try to work that in my writing a lot. Sometimes I'll do research it could be hours on just one sentence because I have to get the year right and and the name right.
Right.
Or something, and plus there's a lot of research I do that it just goes down a rabbit hole and it's just wasted because either the timing's off
The
because
source is bad or whatever.
yeah, something ends up, but so you have to do a lot, and when you look at the final piece, you're saying, oh, he just called that guy and got the story. Well, I had to go through maybe 3 people to get to that guy or to find out who was the guy,
Right.
So it's more complicated than it appears.
Yeah, and that's why you're so good at it, because you make it look so easy.
Yes.
And then we started a podcast. It's like, what are we doing? And then the information.
But we need to get Tim on the show.
Yeah, we have to get Tim on the show. That's what we have to do
and
first.
this is the last show. So.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're done after this, guys. That's it.
You can report it.
I also love the photography that you couple with, obviously, the caption and the information is what, at least I know, your skill set, your writer. Who takes your photos, and do you take your photos?
Well, I take the majority of them, but when I share things, like if I'm writing it, a lot of the times I will take them. It's just easier for me.
They're great photos. You're great at that.
Yeah, a lot of times the places I work, photographers hate me because I do my own things, and I just don't. It's just too much work for me to then tell them everything.
Yeah.
To communicate to them. Yes.
It's easier for me just to take it. Plus, I used before COVID, I had a motto that I don't write about anything that I don't visit. So I would want to go out there and not just talk to someone on the phone.
Yeah.
Even though
Right.
I do a lot of interviews on the phone. But post COVID, I wouldn't say I got lazy during COVID, but I got to where you get workarounds and you get comfortable without going there. But sometimes, especially even
Your job's not to work from home.
no, and I have to take and that's one of the things to answer your question too about how do you know everything. Is a lot of times it's taking different routes because people here get used to staying on the same route all the time. You go to work or school or whatever, and you rarely vary it up. So I would purposely take different routes. Like if I am speaking down, let's say at Lely Resort, I'll go down 951, going there and try to notice what's going on, and then coming back, I might come up the East Trail so I can see a whole nother. And I'm just paying attention.
Right. And so do you? Oh, I didn't know that was there. I'm going to pull aside. Like, do you pull to the side of the road? And
oh yeah,
in
my
the moment, right?
My family gets so mad sometimes.
I can only imagine, Tim.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's awesome.
No, it's like, Dad's gonna take another photo.
It's like squirrel moment. Gotta see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think so. It's
so
really
my
like
son's
on the
now
scene.
he's gonna turn 18 next month. So I try to incorporate. I let him take photos. So I've given him photo credit a few times. So
that's so cool.
I'll have you take the photo. I set it all up, show him. Okay, I want you to stand over here and do this, and then
Put him to work.
Yeah, and that way he realizes more what the job is. Because,
right.
They keep me humble because they don't.
They're like, Dad.
They do not care.
They don't.
We don't care what's coming on that corner. We don't care.
No, they don't.
That's kind of the best part, though, because you have all of us that care, and then you can just be your normal dad
That's
self.
awesome.
Yeah. So how many kids do you have?
I just have one. I just have one son.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
And he's in high school here in town?
He's homeschooled.
Oh,
yeah,
very
he
nice.
He is in high school.
Yeah, I've heard so many homeschools
Yeah.
lately, and I
think
it's
ever
pretty
since
cool.
COVID, and then people just went to homeschool after rather than from what I've noticed.
Right. A lot's changed in the school system. We'll talk about that another episode.
It's a whole nother show.
Yeah. I just find it fascinating. All of it. The photos, the social media. I mean, what is your favorite aspect about what you do and what you write about?
I think just meeting different people, because it's like my philosophy is that everybody has a story, and so when you meet people, you realize sometimes you go into it and you think this is what the story is going to be, and you realize there's a lot more to this than that, and it's not as simple. But no, just people, and again, that's the thing, the relationships, and that's another way I have. I'm lucky. I really feel blessed because those relationships are really those folks come back again. They trust me. They want to let me know first, and it means a lot because I don't demand that of them, and that's the thing. It's
well,
not,
yeah.
That's when like Tim has the plug. is
Yeah.
what we
So they come to me
Yeah.
and they want, so which is very great. And so I've been doing this long enough where I have a lot of people that have a lot of years,
Yeah.
And I remember, like, for instance, Rebecca Maddox,
Mm-hmm.
Bayshore. I mean, I was with her before she even opened 360 Market, when it was the old Tipsy Seagull.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. And so, I mean, that had to be almost 15 years ago. So,
Yeah.
and then
That's so
now
crazy.
she's lets me know when she's doing stuff, and we have a good relationship.
That's perfect.
great.
So do you still do do you do the restaurant openings and closings every year?
Yeah, that's pretty much the bread and butter, because
Yeah.
the way it started with the
We have
column-
enough that close and open every year.
Yeah,
It's
well, there's
insane.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, I figured in this region, there's probably 50 that close every year, but there's easily more than double that open. So
And
you
you're
always
saying the greater Naples area or
yeah,
all of
in the
Southwest
greater
Florida? Okay.
more greater, probably South Lee and Naples.
Okay.
And the thing is, at the end of the year, so you always have a surplus of restaurants, no
Right.
matter what. It seems like people think it's just turning over Rob and Peter to pay Paul, but it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's always more, and there's always more people, and it's going to be that way for a while. So, but
So yeah, you're still doing you. So I guess are you allowed to say your favorite restaurant in town? Do you have one?
I don't really have one to be honest.
Smart,
I
Tim.
don't even eat out. I
Smart.
don't even eat out that much. People think I do. The thing is, I don't.
Yeah, you're not a critic.
Right. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
review.
no, I know.
People falsely think I review
Yeah,
restaurants.
sure.
I don't. I do business stories on restaurants,
Yeah.
and I might get into the nitty gritty sometimes
Sure.
where it sounds like a review because I'm saying what the menu looks like or what the decor looks like, but I'm not really doing a review. A lot of times I'm not even trying the food. Sometimes, I get offered a lot of times, but either it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm working.
right.
Can't,
I feel like,
isn't
there's a
lunch.
certain part as a journalist, you don't want to take advantage of that because you don't want to feel like that's influencing you.
Right. Or you're
what they're-
favoring one thing over the
Right,
next.
right.
Yeah.
But no, I do have places that I like that I, go to, and my family though, it's a little different in that I have two people in my family who are on gluten-free diet, so
Okay.
it's very difficult to go to some places because they don't do it well
Right.
for them, and a lot of the times the chains do it the best,
That's so true. Yeah.
and so you end up going to chains, and so
We have enough of them too down here.
right.
We have
right.
great chains.
No, I know. I'm
Like
just saying.
Cheesecake Factory has gluten-free options, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, there's a lot that do, and
mean-
some of the bigger chains do a better job,
Yeah.
I think, and because I'll call up, for instance, I call a restaurant we haven't been to, and I said, "Do you have a gluten-free menu?" And when the first thing that they say is gluten, and you're saying, "Okay, you just want to
Okay,
hang
you don't
up."
even know what gluten is,
Right,
so we can't.
exactly. So you just want to hang up on them.
Yeah.
But so it is a problem. But
Okay, so we need a good gluten-free restaurant here in Naples. Let's go. I don't know any.
I mean, there's a
I know there's
gluten-free bakery
Oh, that's right.
on Amackley Road
yeah,
there.
Epiphany.
Yeah.
It's gluten-free bakery.
Is that good?
It
Yeah,
actually
it's
is.
good.
I haven't
Yeah,
been there.
no, they do a good
Mhm.
job.
I know there's tons of gluten-free options, but
Right.
I was in Los Angeles for many years and New York before that. There's options everywhere. Like there's specific gluten-free or
Yeah.
vegan, like whole restaurants that would thrive. I know here it might not do as well, but gluten's a big one.
Right. Well, and the problem is a lot of chefs think that it's by choice, like it's a choice someone's making, which they would
Right.
prefer not to cater to.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because in my case, our family's case, my wife has celiac, so it's not her
Yeah.
choice.
Right.
So and that's been going on for 15 years. So I've seen the progression of gluten free from when there was that one pizza place down on Rattlesnake, that now to where there are a lot more options
Sure.
for sure, and there's a lot better grocery stores that cater to it, like Whole Foods and Sprouts and,
Yeah.
and Seed to Table. But it's still probably not.
We're
what
lacking a little bit. Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, it's because I don't think that I probably wouldn't make it. A gluten-free restaurant probably wouldn't make it. But
No.
I know. Yeah.
But it would be nicer if they had a lot of, healthier options, like you said.
Yeah. We need a little more of that.
Yeah.
Just so distinctively
There's
healthy
a place called the
place.
Naked Farmer. It was kind of like a healthy Chipotle.
Where's that? It's a
It
chain.
was in Tampa. I saw one.
Oh,
They should come down here.
it's another idea for someone to
Well, and it's a thing.
Well, it's
People
already
can take
make
it,
a millionaire.
They
No,
can
but
take
here,
a
here.
crack at it, but it may not be successful.
That's
And that's
it.
the thing. You never know really what's going to be successful.
Yeah.
But some of these people, they always ask me, why can they have so many restaurants? And the thing is, the seasonality of it is one of the reasons why
Yeah.
we have more than, per capita than the average place. But I think it's also just the people. I think like most people think they can write the great American novel. Most people think they can have a successful restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for some whatever reason, it's just I've never personally wanted to do that, but people
Not for what from what you know.
right.
Now you've
No,
seen
it's
so
just
much.
a tough
hard.
business.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those
so
people
hard.
work hard.
Yeah.
And I when they close, I mean, I treat it like an obituary. I mean, like a death in the family, because it really is like that. They're
Yeah.
losing their shirts in some way. They're losing it's like a part of them dies.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Are you allowed to share which restaurants that you know of off the top of your head that are closing and opening in the next couple months?
Well, I don't know about the closings ahead of
Yeah,
time.
because they'll just shut up.
No, but
overnight.
there's some real high end ones, and a lot of them, and I think what I've noticed and what I think, I don't know if you know Peter Tierney of the Bay House, he has a
Yeah.
claw bar and stuff. He came with a term that's called the Four Seasons effect, which he thinks the new resort coming, people are kind of coming in on the coattails, that you got these higher end restaurants that are coming in to serve that market, which could be true. We saw it with La Coloniale open on 5th, for instance, and Lola 41. And there's some more coming. Blackbird.
There's a membership type restaurant.
Membership
right?
only places. Yeah.
That's just crazy to me.
Butcher and the Maddox and Warren Whiskey Kitchen has a private part. The Prime Social that's coming on 5th Avenue.
It's right on top of our office.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
we're on
so
Fifth
that's
Avenue.
the
So
cool
we're
thing.
built-in members? No.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't be
whoever
going to-
heard of bridging of the top of two buildings like that and putting something, I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
But
I mean, not in Naples. That was
exactly,
never
and that makes
unheard
it even
of.
more unheard of. Yeah, the fact that Naples allowed it, because that was the first third-story restaurant they
Right.
allowed. But now, not only that, but put it across two buildings.
The bridge, yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I mean, it's a
incredible.
great concept, and I'm here for it. But I am a little fearful that Naples will continue to lean over and bend and mold like what Miami
higher-
like just a different charm. And so I'm very cautious of certain things.
Well, people
like that.
are worried about that. In fact, a lot of times, every time I write about a new development now, people say, "Oh, we're becoming the next Miami." It's almost
I've seen it a million times on the comments.
Yeah, you
Yes.
you can predict it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
see it personally, but
We
it's funny.
talk
No, I don't
about
see it either.
We can't.
But
The population won't exist here. There is not.
No.
But it's just certain concepts. Yeah, I mean, I hope the city of Naples keeps their regulations forever.
Yeah.
The county might be different. I think the outskirts, what's going on in off of Davis and the Diamond and all that. I mean, that's unheard of as well. I'm over there all the time in Brookside, and I'm like, this is crazy.
We definitely have to do something about traffic, though, Tim. What can you do?
No,
there?
exactly. No, and that is
What
the
have you
problem.
heard?
And
What do
that's
you
what
know?
people think about Miami. No, the thing is we're so far behind because
Yeah.
the way it works is that you have first of all you almost have to have a failing road before there's anything
Right.
planned, and then it's too late in
Yeah.
my field.
Yeah.
Because it takes so many years to do anything. So you've got the time to plan it, the design stage, and you have to have public information meetings and all this stuff. Then, then you have to put it out for bid, and then the
Right.
company comes in. It takes a year or two to build. And then by the time it opens up, you're talking like, well, look at Vanderbilt Beach Road extension. That's been talked about for 15 years.
I
And they
think
just broke ground last summer?
Yeah,
This
yeah, and
summer?
it's still a year. It'll
Yeah.
be done in next year. It should be completed. The first phase,
The
first
first
7
phase, of
miles,
course. Yeah, the first
to,
phase.
to only
right.
to 16th Street, but it's gonna go all the way to.
I was all
Everglades.
excited a few years ago with the Logan extension, and I realized
Yeah.
it was just 2 lanes, though. So if you get behind someone doing
Right.
25 miles an hour, you're
Right.
screwed.
Right, and then eventually the Collier Boulevard extension is going to connect with Logan. I don't know if you knew that. So it's going to go north and cut west and connect to Logan, and they're all going to empty out onto that same roundabout.
Oh, and then head north.
Yeah, it's going to come up. You know that part where Logan kind of curves and starts going
Right,
east?
yeah.
That's where Collier Boulevard is going to connect with
Oh,
the
so they're
west.
going to bring it. Okay.
It's going to cut around beneath.
You heard it
like-
here first.
Okay, yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah, and
It
again, that's
knows.
still years away.
Right.
I don't think it's funded yet. So
Just
that's
like
the other thing.
the-
You have to get the funding. Funding
Yeah.
has to be in place, whether you're getting state grants or you're paying for it through gas taxes or whatever, however they're going to fund it. All this stuff has to be worked out, and it's just years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the city and county have to get together to decide too, because the city of Naples is so small And they have so many tax dollars.
Well, and then the city of Naples is really already hit build out, and so
Yes.
anything that you're seeing done development wise in the city of Naples, chances are you're going to see something torn down. So you're going to see something demolished to build something new. We're out in the county, you still have a lot of land that's still vacant.
So what? Actually, I have a question for you because I've heard multiple things about what's going down where the old George was the St. George's
St. George
restaurant.
and the Dragon.
Yeah, St. George. What's going there?
Well, it's going to be a mixed use development. It's not going to be what initially was announced, that it was going to be a Whole Foods market and a restoration hardware. Those are not going to happen. The city was against that because they thought it was going to draw too much traffic. They were against the underground parking aspect of the project, which is not going to happen now. So they're building an above ground parking garage as part of it.
And then just mixed use.
Yeah, it's going to be the bottom floor will be retail, restaurants, and then the top 2 floors will be really high-end condos. Yeah. So for both sides, there's going to be two separate sides. Like where Whole Foods was going to go was where actually St. George and the Dragon was, and then where the FGCU building is today, which will be demolished, will be where there will be a second. That's where Restoration Hardware was going to go.
Okay.
Which is now going to Waterside Shops. I broke that. And I do have something new to announce on that that I'll be reporting soon. Originally I thought they were going to just take the design for what was going downtown and put it at Waterside. So in other words, it would have been a 3-story, which they call a gallery, which if people don't know, that Restoration Hardware is not a hardware store. It's an upscale furniture, home decor type of place.
Like with a lounge on
the
top.
And the top was the restaurant. Well, this one is only going to be a single story. And by the way, if you haven't been over to Waterside, they're tearing down Nordstrom.
Yeah,
we can see it from our office.
Yeah.
So we're in the Fine Mark building at Compass, and I remember when we're like, what in the world?
It's taking forever to tear that down, too.
It is. And it's just so crazy.
No, but it's almost gone now. I mean, they'll still have a lot of debris to remove.
Yeah.
But anyway,
single story.
Yeah, it's going to be a single story. And the restaurant will be in the center of it. So it'll be inside. And it looks like it might even be an open, I don't know if it's open air or if it's
like a glass ceiling or something.
Ceiling.
I can see that. That would be, wonder how high those ceilings are going to be.
Hot off the presses.
Like, what's the echo going to be like? I mean, I've been to so many Restoration Hardwares and like the OG in LA.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping it was going to mimic that, but the minute I just learned something from Tim, once
again.
I
thought I just took it for granted that it was going to be a three-story, and I don't know what I have to find out why they're doing that because I'm not aware that they even have one like that. I haven't done the research yet because I just learned this yesterday.
So it is like it's a furniture display on the bottom floor. I think there's, and then another display on the second floor.
Yeah, I noticed
and
that
then
they
the top
number
is like
them galleries because I noticed like behind the restaurant was like gallery 8. So I think they set up little rooms, right? Like
and they have. I mean, it's
like sets or something,
right? And maybe it's because we do have so many furniture stores that they're like, we're gonna actually make this a restaurant that's pretty with furniture in it. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna sell more food or furniture. Like, let's take a bet.
We have a supermarket that has bars and restaurants in it. So
we have it all
why not
here.
Have a furniture
Naples.
store?
Well, when you go to RH.com,
if
you go to RH.com and you see the opulence of these, and you've actually been, I haven't been to one, so it's
lucky. A neat experience.
Yeah. So, but when you see it though, you just wonder, why hasn't this already come to Naples, right? So I mean, it fits Naples perfectly.
Totally. And I'm just sad it's not going to be the 3-story.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be
I've never been to one, so.
Right. Yeah, I just have to look more into it because I've just found the plans. I haven't talked to anybody yet. I mean, that's from what I can see. That's what it looks like it's going to be.
I have to ask, and you don't have to answer, but do you have any haters on the gram?
There's some. I wouldn't say they're haters.
Okay.
I'm sure I do, but they're not real vocal if I do.
Oh, good.
They might just get tired of me. I'd be tired of me, I think. But I don't know.
Hear you.
But I mean, there's always just miserable people and haters.
There are trolls. I wouldn't call them haters. I wouldn't call them haters, but I would call them trolls.
I'm not up with
There
the
are people
lingo.
who are they're contrary to whatever's going on. And it's not, I don't take it personally because it's not about me.
Of course
In fact, I have people that defend me, which is great. So when there's somebody that does come on and say, Tim, you missed the boat on this one or whatever, there's someone that will come on. I just have to wait. And then there's someone that comes to my defense.
I love it.
So I don't even have to get involved in that back and forth.
That's great. Yeah,
it is great.
I love it.
No, that's a waste of time.
No, it is. No, and I've learned long ago. I learned
troll.
long ago when I used to be the online managing editor at the Naples Daily News, and I would monitor comments. Oh my gosh. And it was bad. That was back when people could be anonymous. And now with Facebook, they can't really be anonymous, even though they can, because I followed I'm certain that there's a couple of people on there that were people I banned years ago at the Naples Day News, and they just create new
Like a
names. And I can
random
tell because
identity.
there's they
Yeah.
don't realize that, but I can sense their tone
Yeah.
and just their nonsensical
Yeah,
names
yeah.
that this is the same person. I'm
Yeah.
convinced of it. But they don't
See,
again they
that's what I
don't
wanted to
attack
get.
me. They just attack everything
subject.
that's
Yeah.
Naples.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And they'll continue to do that.
Right. No, they get somebody.
that's why
I don't
they
know
can
if they
leave.
get liquored up and this is how they spend their Friday night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Their entertainment
But
or
yeah,
whatever.
it's they're entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to be the downer at the party.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely love your work, and I'm definitely gonna. I think Robbie's mom subscribes to that because when this first came out, you said it's been out. How long is Naples Press?
years.
Now?
2 years. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe it was last year. She said you've got to get this. This is like the only stuff we need to know. And that
Well,
was
the thing
literally
is,
what
it's
she's-
all local news.
Right.
So there's not filler from national news. There's
Yeah.
not filler from Fort Myers, and it's all local news.
Can it be delivered to Bonita, or is that a no?
I don't know if it can or not. It may not be
Because we
able
got a
to.
lot of Naples people coming to Bonita.
Yeah, may
Because
not
Naples
be able
is
to. They may
expensive.
have to drive over the line and buy it at Publix or
Damn it.
7-Eleven in Collier.
It's fine.
But I mean, there's
I'll
still.
get it sent to the office.
But like you said, there's still a need for print. I believe in Naples. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it used to say that Naples was like going to be the last print, one of the last print locations because of both the elderly
demographic,
population
yeah.
and the money, financially. So they thought it would be one of the last, and I don't necessarily feel that anymore. But it's there's been a huge decline in daily newspapers for sure. I mean, in the last 15 years, it sounds unreal to even say, but they have seen an 85% to 95% decline.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
that's incredible. Yeah, and so you're going to see a lot more papers fold, the daily papers. So ours, I mean, I think what we have is doable where people, because it gets overwhelming, and a lot of times I think people, even if they're like environmentalists, they feel like this is wasting resources.
Sure.
And I'm going to throw it into the recycling bin anyway.
Right. And we have so much news on this every day
Right.
that to try to capture it all in one day in a, I don't know how many pages this is, but
people
I
only
like
read
the
headlines
recap.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
The recap,
And then wanna
the
comment on
But
the
the
highlights.
difference
headline.
is the local. It's hard. You can't find the local. You can find a lot of news on the phone, but a lot of the times the news they're picking up are things that we're reporting, or a lot of times though, what I find, and I'm hoping that we counteract it, is the news that you get from like next door and Facebook. Sometimes, my gosh, I see
I can't
much
look at those
misinformation
It's-
out there.
Yeah.
And someone will ask, what's going on? And I've already answered the question. So they'll say, what's going on the Randall Curve? What's coming up next to 7-Eleven or McDonald's, whatever? And then they'll just answer, and people will be so off. I heard that this, and it's like, why do you even bother? You don't even know. And then
It's so
plus,
funny,
they
though.
could
why ask the
Google,
question?
it and link to my stuff.
So you're, people. They're just
So-
people.
So, what do you see for Tim coming up in the future with your reporting, your journalist, and in the know? Do you see yourself continuing to do this, or evolving, doing something different, or?
Yeah, I think I think so. I think it'd probably be a little bit of both. I mean, one of the things I think to my longevity is that I have kind of pivoted. I pivoted to go with photos. I did videos and things.
I mean-
and you have to keep up with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you're using every platform.
I want to see you fighting with the trolls on your comment section.
There you
That's,
go.
that's
Well, you know what?
We'll do
Tim's
that for
new
ya.
attitude.
Yeah.
no, I actually thought about doing my own podcast, doing that, and I would actually delve into some of these questions that people have, like take on the
so
questions like we're
good.
going to be the next
Yeah.
Miami. We're going to
Let's do it. This is your podcast now, Tim.
Yeah.
This is
It's all yours.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
But no, and
You
so
already have a name. There we go.
So and I was gonna take those on. And,
Yeah.
In fact, my son he should be do voiceover work. He does so many. So I was gonna have him
Really?
read the questions and without names, because I'm
Sure.
not making fun of the people.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's anonymous.
I want
It's-
and he was gonna read the names in different voices.
Natalie will make fun of him. She can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
But that's a given.
So and but no, I thought that'd be fun to take on some of that stuff, because I had to think of something different than what I'm doing, and that would be, I mean,
You already have the built-in following.
Mm-hmm.
You already have the reputation and the relationships in this town. So I think it's just a natural progression.
People want it.
Well, and if people will have me, I plan to die with my boots on. So I'll
You're gonna keep doing this.
I'll keep doing it
I love
in
it.
some way or another. So
Naples is it, right?
I think so. You know, and I mean, I'm hoping I don't get priced out of the market. I mean, that's the thing. I know with your show, everybody loves Naples, but there's in parentheses, it's everybody can't afford Naples.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it, but everybody can't
Yeah.
afford it. And so
And Naples sucks. Tell your friends, as in like we can't get any more people here.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So yeah, you almost feel like and I feel like I promote it all the time, but I'm also promoting more people coming. And there's more-
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. It's like I'm bitching about it on the one hand, and I'm
know.
like I sell real estate for a living, and then we have this show because you can't not love it here.
Right.
So just
No,
don't
I
even
feel
come
that
visit
way.
because you're gonna fall in love, and
Right.
yeah.
No,
But
I
it's-
feel that way for sure.
It feels great though to be a resource on for us very small scale in comparison, but to then have you as a resource for everything.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Well, I think I get more acclaim than I deserve, but I do enjoy doing what I'm doing because it is it provides a good service. Like I said, people
Yeah.
because there's so much misinformation and there's so much happening at the speed of light that nobody
Right.
can keep up. It's very
Yeah.
hard for me to keep up, and I
Right.
try harder than most people
Yeah.
to. And it's tough, you know, and it's stressful, and you have to decide what you're going to leave on the table anymore. Because when I first started, the comment was like, what am I going to write about every week? And now it's like, what am I going to have to jettison?
Right.
Because I can't do it. Either I can't do it because of a timely reason, because it's a juggling act too, is you have to do it. It has to be timely.
Sure.
Yeah.
So and there's a certain window, and if you miss that, then it's old news. Somebody else will report it, and then you don't. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
What are you most excited for that's coming to Naples that you know about?
I'm interested to see how these new towns are going to work out there. I mean, Ave Maria, if you've been to Ave Maria, I think it's
Yeah.
just a fascinating place. And then to have that, to me, I've never heard even that kind of thing. I mean, President-elect Trump just actually mentioned that about building towns in places. I've never heard of such an idea, but we're doing that. And the fact that you're going to have Rivergrass and the town of Big Cypress being built between Golden Gate Estates and Ave Maria is just like, I really want to see that because I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention
It's
when
about
they
time.
did Ave Maria.
Yeah.
And I guess because you don't even think that that's even possible.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Something
like
like
bigger
that's
than your
possible.
imagination.
But this is
can-
like historical.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. I feel like even some of these master development communities that we tour in and sell in, it's kind of even like the breakdown of the fees. It's like, here's the town fee. Here's,
I mean, they build
You know, you're
cities. It's like they
Yeah.
build
Yeah.
these just cities as communities.
you
Right.
don't even
Yeah,
have to
and they're
leave
gonna be
Village Walk
self-contained.
for, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, and you hope that they're self-contained because you're hoping that doesn't put so many more people on the roads, where they're
That's
going
just
to
it.
all be serviced there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, there's only one beach, there's only one Fifth Avenue,
Yeah.
and one waterside shops kind of thing.
That's right.
And Mercado, so people are gonna drive.
They try and put a Publix in front of everyone.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I know, they're
The
like,
Publix, yeah, Publix.
We'll
they
give
can
you a
do.
Publix and Walgreens, maybe a Domino's.
Right in front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as the world turns, I guess. Tim, it's so awesome to meet you and to have you on, and thanks for the magazines. I can't wait to subscribe to the Naples Press. I'll just get
Naples
it
Press
delivered.
and Gulf Shore Business.
Yes. Well,
Amazing.
likewise, it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate the
Oh
invitation.
my gosh, come back anytime. Like we could make
Well, we're
this
going to be
a
on
regular.
his show next.
Yeah, we can make this regular thing, and you can spill the questions.
And then how can followers find you on?
Well, all of my social media is at Tim Aten Knows. So
They already follow you.
TimAtenknows.
For the one person that did not.
Yeah. And then, and that's on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and X.
Okay,
Great.
awesome. Well, we can't wait to
Wanna
have you
wrap
again.
this up?
This is us wrapping up.
I mean, it's our last show because Tim's in the
Yeah,
know.
it's been fun, guys. We know that everybody loves Naples, and for anything else you need to know, just go see his page.
Right.
Thanks.